All right, fill in the blank time from recent developments and events. The rookie quarterback who impressed me most last weekend, week 1 of the preseason, was who, Chris?
Well, you know who that is for me. It was Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, for my money, first off, had to start the game, the emotions of that, and then it's the in-town rival, the New York Giants. And to me, he just made the most realistic NFL regular season type of throws and plays. And then, of course, yes, from the pure throwing standpoint, I don't, it pops off the screen to me. How quickly he can get out of his hands, and then the pace in which he can throw it once it is out of his hands is really impressive. So he's the guy I looked at that jumped out to me.
I got to go with Trey Lance, not because of the full body of work. He had 4 sacks. There were some that were his fault. He held on to the ball too long. We looked at that early in the week. But that play when he rolls left, sets up on his own, I think it was 13.
11 or 12, yeah, somewhere in there.
And the ball was caught. He's on the left hash at the 13. The ball was caught just outside the numbers on the other side on the opposing 43.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a throw.
That is.
In your first preseason game. Yeah, the rest of it wasn't perfect. Kyle Shanahan said some good, some bad. But what was good was pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, his pure raw ability pops off the screen. There's no doubt about it. It's going to – I don't doubt he'll make splash plays when he plays. There's no doubt about it. It's just going to be the other stuff in between that we got to see. That's going to be about the biggest development. Can he make the right reads? Can he make the proper throws? Can he do the right thing in the pocket? Can he play quarterback? I know he's an athlete, but right now, to me, he's an athlete who plays quarterback instead of a quarterback who's an athlete. You've heard me say that before, and that's what I want to see more and more as we go.
The rookie non-quarterback who impressed me the most last weekend was who, Chris?
Who? The 3 linebackers, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, right? I'm going to pick him. The 3 rookie linebackers, Zaven Collins and our Micah Parsons, have been phenomenal. Owusu-Koramoah, I'm just giving it to him because undersized linebacker, huge need at the position for the Cleveland Browns. He didn't start the game last week, but I would think he's going to start this week with the way he played. I mean, he just jumps out on screen. He's a heat-seeking missile. And he's fun to watch, and he made a number of plays right off the bat. Plays middle linebacker, Mike. Then they blitz everybody, and he's covering the slot receiver man-to-man. I mean, what a weapon to have a guy like that. So he really jumped out to me.
I'm going to say Micah Parsons. So many of the first-round picks, so many of the draft picks are projections.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons seems like a guy that, number one, it was a known entity. He was going to be great. And you take him and you plug him in. It's like having a 7-year veteran.
Yeah.
Just like that. Right? There it is. Problem solved. We got a guy who's a rookie who carries himself both on and off the field like he's been around forever and is already an all-pro, and here he is. So that's impressed me more than anything else. All right, mid-September, by the time we get into a couple of games and the season takes on a life of its own, the NFL's taunting emphasis will be what, Chris?
Well, what do we mean by that? Like NFL's taunting emphasis? I mean,
what will be the mood? What will be the vibe? What will we be saying about this point of emphasis on taunting?
Well, I think that we're gonna have a few plays every week where we're gonna go, they shouldn't have called that, or they're being too touchy there, or something like that. Controversial, I guess is the word I should say. Thank you, Pete. Pete gave me that one in my ear. Yeah. I think we're going to have that just because there's so much notoriety around the subject right now, and there's probably going to be a few flags thrown in some big moments because players aren't quite used to it in September.
And I'll say it will be overblown because it already is overblown.
Yeah.
I wrote something last night. It occurred to me, look, at a certain level, this is a PR failure by the NFL because this isn't a new rule. This isn't a new expectation. Taunting has been prohibited for years. And we tried to explain yesterday the idea. It's okay to celebrate. You just don't celebrate in someone's face.
That's right.
Anytime you do that, it's taunting. And because they got away from calling the flag, and this is the Tyreek Hill rule, for lack of a better term, as you would say. But throwing the deuces up at your opponent, not getting called, and then it sparks the reaction by Antoine Winfield Jr. in Super Bowl 55 when he gets down in his face, giving it back to him for the incident where Hill did it to Winfield, and it wasn't called week 11
10 or
of the
11,
regular
somewhere
season.
In there, yeah, right.
So I think that they just did not do a good job of explaining it, of making sure. I think it caught everyone off guard. It caught me off guard. Like, why is everybody upset about this? Why is Twitter all pissed off about a rule that's been on the book for years? We all know.
I know.
You can't get in someone's face and flex on them. Why is everybody upset about it now? It really was odd to me. And I still think that you're going to have people who are complaining about it. And there's always the group who just complains about anything just to complain. But people are still going to be complaining about a rule that has been around for a very long time.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I don't want to see that disrespect of other people. And Ron Rivera said it right yesterday. Pee-wee kids and their moms don't need to see that. That's not the example we're trying to set in football, to show up somebody every time you do something good.
All right, the Ravens' 18-game winning streak in the preseason is what?
Very impressive. I don't give a damn if it's the preseason or not. It says something about the culture of the Ravens. You know, that's where I look at it to go. It just shows you that they always have a complete football team. They're always physical. They always do the little things right. All those type of things. You know, they're old school. You know, old school wins. Sorry. I know everybody was getting on Joe Judge here in the New York area because he made the players run when they made mistakes. Wah. Great. I'll tell you this, all the teams that are consistently good in the NFL, for the most part, are old school. The Patriots, old school. Baltimore Ravens, Harbaugh, old school. Mike Tomlin, Steelers, old school. Sean Payton, Saints, old school. It's about that, and the Ravens exemplify that. They're always pillaging the biggest, baddest dudes on earth, and I'm impressed with it. I don't care if it's a preseason or not.
This 18-game preseason winning streak is the longest since Vince Lombardi's Packers from 59 to 62.
Old school,
they won
Mike.
19 in a row. I'm going to make it much simpler than how you put it. And I'm reminded of a profile of the Harbaugh brothers from 2010, 2011-ish. John Harbaugh is so freaking competitive.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to lose any game.
Right.
Preseason, postseason, regular season, off season. He doesn't want to lose anything. If I recall this correctly, they were so crazy about competing with their video games. One of the kids or the dad or somebody, I think one of the boys got so upset, ripped the video game out of the TV, took it out back, and like chucked it down into a ravine. That's how competitive they are. So I think this all traces to John Harbaugh. He wants to win every game, even when he's going against somebody like Bill Belichick, who doesn't give a crap. I mean, we saw him last week. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Challenge flag, bad call, I don't care. Let's move on to the next play. So that's I think, the reason John Harbaugh, nothing, and it's not criticism, he's just extremely competitive.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.